Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. First call, Patrick Queen's jab at former Ravens teammate, ex-Steelers WR wants NFL comeback, Metro goalie trades. Patrick Queen's arrival in Pittsburgh is already adding spice to the Steelers-Ravens rivalry. The Pittsburgh Steelers are advancing plans for a game in Ireland. A former Steelers wide receiver is attempting a comeback. Garrett Cole made his first major league start of the year. And teams in the Metropolitan Division are starting to make off-season moves. All that in Thursday's first call. A word of warning: Baltimore Ravens cornerback Marlon Humphrey wants to give a heads-up to his former teammate Patrick Queen: the grass isn't always greener on the other side. Even if the grass is painted black and gold. Speaking on his Punchline podcast, the three-time Pro Bowl defensive back said Queen might be overselling his new place of employment with the Steelers. "I'm not hating on Pittsburgh or hating on PQ," Humphrey said on Wednesday's post. "But I've been with the Ravens for a while. I've seen the same story go down with a lot of guys. It's the best place on earth, this new place. It's not like the Ravens. Reality sets in eventually. I hope it's great over there. But you know, sometimes, I'm just saying, I've seen it once or twice. But he seems to be happy over there." Queen recently said everything from the atmosphere to the food is better in Pittsburgh than in Baltimore. That didn't seem to sit well with Humphrey. "I don't even understand why he had to go in on Baltimore like that," Humphrey said. "The city's better, the food's better, the color's better. I don't know what PQ has got going on." Queen responded by posting a video of himself watering his green grass and enjoying an afternoon beverage. Queen and the Steelers don't face the Ravens this season until November 17 in Pittsburgh. The return game is December 21 in Baltimore. Slant. The Steelers are continuing to move toward playing a regular season game in Ireland. That's according to the organization's Director of Business Development and Strategy, Dan Rooney. "It's been a goal from the start, being able to pursue an opportunity to play a live game in front of the Irish fans," Rooney said to BBC Sport NI. Rooney, who is the son of current team president Art Rooney II, was speaking during a Steelers camp in Belfast. "We are working with the NFL on that, and we're looking forward to seeing what's coming," he added. The NFL has globalized during the regular season in recent years, placing games in England, Germany, Mexico, and Brazil. Now, a feasibility study for further expansion in Europe, including Dublin, is underway. "We're awaiting some of their findings, and we have told them we would love to get to the island to play a game someday," Rooney told the BBC. "It's an exciting future ahead. It would be special no matter where we played it." The Steelers played the Chicago Bears in a preseason game at Croke Park in 1997. But there hasn't been a regular season game in Ireland. Aviva Stadium in Dublin is a candidate to host the game. It hosted a Notre Dame Navy game last year. Rooney's grandfather, former team owner Daniel Milton Rooney, was the ambassador to Ireland from 2009 to 12. Asked and answered, June 20. Mike Darrow from Manhattan Beach, California. "I saw quite a bit written about the improvements at inside linebacker with the additions of Patrick Queen and Peyton Wilson, and Cam Sutton adds quality depth in the secondary. Did anyone surface during OTAs or minicamp as the fourth outside linebacker?" Answer: What happens during OTAs and minicamp often is referred to as football-like activity by Coach Mike Tomlin, because things really don't deserve to be called football until the players are wearing pads. Since there is no contact in drills, there is no way to evaluate things such as rushing the passer or setting the edge on running plays, and so it's not possible to evaluate an individual's potential worthiness for a roster spot. I too often have been fooled by what I saw at OTAs and minicamp to waste your time by throwing out a name for the fourth spot on the roster at outside linebacker. What I'm willing to point out is that Nick Herbig, based on his production as a rookie and the way he spent the entire offseason preparing himself mentally and physically for an NFL season, is going to end up being a starting caliber Steelers outside linebacker. That doesn't mean Herbig will be starting instead of TJ Watt or Alex Highsmith, but only that having him as the number 3 is going to be more significant for the 2024 defense than the number 4 outside linebacker. Barry Kriebel, 2 from Allentown, Pennsylvania. How many more years does TJ Watt have left on his contract? Answer. According to overtheCap.com, TJ Watt is under contract to the Steelers through the 2025 NFL season. He is due to earn $21.05 million in salary during each of those seasons and carry a salary cap charge of $30.42 million in each of those seasons. Benedict Prum from Brandenburg, Germany. Is the rivalry between the Steelers and Ravens a continuation of the rivalry with the old Browns franchise, and then moved with them to Baltimore? Or did that only develop with the Ravens once they got to Baltimore? Answer. I totally agree with the opinion that the Steelers-Ravens rivalry had its seeds sown during the last few seasons of Steelers-Browns. Pittsburgh and Cleveland had been paired by the NFL starting when the Browns came over from the AAFC for the 1950 season. Almost instantly that home-and-home series became a box office smash, with fans from both cities gladly traveling the turnpike to pack the other franchise's stadium even though the outcomes were often one-sided. Steelers fans suffering at the hands of the Browns shifted to glee in 1970 when their team started a 16-game winning streak versus the Browns at Three Rivers Stadium. In 1994, the Steelers had won the AFC Central Division with a 12-4 record by virtue of a regular season sweep of the Browns, who finished 11-5. Then in the AFC Divisional Round, the Steelers handled the Browns for a third time, 29-9, during a raucous environment at Three Rivers Stadium. When the Browns became the Ravens, that still was Art Modell's team, and Ozzie Newsome, a thorn in the Steelers' side as both a player and executive, was still a key member of the organization. Also for the Ravens' inaugural season in 1996, Marvin Lewis left the Steelers as the linebackers coach to take a job in Baltimore as the defensive coordinator. Those individuals, plus a few select players, kept the embers going during the infancy of the Ravens franchise, and then guys like Ray Lewis and Tony Siragusa and Shannon Sharpe stoked it into the fire that remains to this day. Steelers reporter addresses trade rumors about 49ers Brandon Ayuk. During a Wednesday appearance on Pittsburgh sports radio station 93.7 The Fan, Pittsburgh Steelers reporter Ray Fittipaldo of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette addressed rumors regarding the club possibly trading for unhappy San Francisco 49ers star wide receiver Brandon Ayuk this summer. I think for the Steelers, I think they're interested, but I think they're interested at their price, and I think what Pittsburgh general manager Omar Khan is gonna do is he's gonna wait until it gets really uncomfortable for San Francisco general manager John Lynch and head coach Kyle Shanahan, Fittipaldo said about the Ayuk situation, according to Josh Carney of Steelers Depot. And if you've noticed, Ayuk is kind of starting to make it uncomfortable for the 49ers. The Steelers were first linked with Ayuk earlier this spring before San Francisco made wide receiver Ricky Pearsall the 31st pick of this year's draft, and before Ayuk interestingly said in a video that went viral on Monday that they don't want me back. Multiple NFL insiders have since insisted the 49ers want to hold on to Ayuk, who is in the final year of his rookie contract, but the two sides seemingly aren't close to signing an extension. Pittsburgh, meanwhile, has a need at the position but would have to give Ayuk a lucrative deal to make trading for his services ahead of the upcoming season a worthwhile transaction. It's unclear what the 49ers would want in return for Ayuk or if the Steelers would match his asking price. As the season gets closer, I think the 49ers might have a little bit more urgency in moving him, Fittipaldo added about Ayuk. It's been out there since March. We've known this has been a thing since March, and I think if it's gonna happen, probably not gonna happen in June. I think it'll happen probably closer to training camp or the start of the season. Fittipaldo's final point is interesting but also seems to ignore that a 49ers franchise looking to make a second straight trip to a Super Bowl has a history of getting deals done with players during preseasons and even as late as days before a Week 1 game. With that said, it remains to be seen how uncomfortable Ayak is willing to make things for Lynch and company over the next 2 months in an attempt to receive the type of extension he desires. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Brandon Ayuk? Leave your opinion in the comments.